Today we'll be discussing conic sections, and we'll be looking at the shape, the ellipse. And the ellipse usually has a general equation, which is s squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1. Or it could be in the form of x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared equals 1. Well, whichever way the ellipse equation is given to you, it's very important to note that the a squared is always greater than the b squared. So for example, if you have an equation like this here, this one here, s squared over 25 plus y squared over 24 equals 1, the a squared is 25 and the b squared is 4. However, if your equation is given to you in the form of s squared over 4 plus y squared over 25 equals 1, then in this situation your a squared is 25 and your b squared is 4. However, always note that for an ellipse, it's always going to be a plus sign between the s squared and the y squared. It's always going to be a plus sign. That's a good way to know if an equation of a conic section is an ellipse. So if a squared equals 25 for this, so a equals square root of 25, a equals 5, and b squared equals 4, because we said b squared is always the smaller of the two, so b equals 2, which is square root of 4. But if we really want to write this the way it's supposed to be, our a is equal to plus or minus 5 and our b is equal to plus or minus 2. Note that the general form of the equations we're dealing with is for an ellipse with center at the origin. Thus this ellipse has its center at 0, 0. If the ellipse takes the form of x squared over 4 plus y squared over 25 equals 1, a squared here is 25 and a equals 5, b is 4 because we said b squared has to be, b squared is 4 because we said b squared is the smaller of the two, which is 4, so b equals square root of 4, b equals 2. And just as we said before, if we want to write this precisely, we'll say a equals plus or minus 5 and b equals plus or minus 2. And as I said earlier, in an ellipse, a is always greater than b, or a squared is always greater than b squared. And then there's another thing in an ellipse which is called the focus of the ellipse, and it's given by the letter c. It's derived using the equation c squared equals a squared minus b squared. So if you have an ellipse and you're given a squared and b squared, you can always find c squared by using this equation here. Now, if your ellipse is in the form of x squared over a squared plus y squared over b squared equals 1, it's gonna look like this. The major axis of the ellipse, which is the longer of the two, you have two axes. This is the y-axis of the ellipse and this is the x-axis of the ellipse. So if your equation is in this form, if you have the bigger number under x squared, your ellipse is gonna look like this because the major axis is on the horizontal axis. Then if your ellipse is in the form of this, x squared over b squared plus y squared over a squared, here the bigger number is on the y squared because we said the bigger number is always the a squared. So if your ellipse is in that form, it's gonna look like this. So here the major axis is the vertical axis, and the length of the major axis is always given by 2a. That's 2 multiplied by what the value of a is, because from here to here is a, and from here to here is a. So a plus a gives you 2a. Stay tuned, we're gonna have so many videos and conic sections. This is just an introduction to an ellipse. We'll solve other questions that have questions and we'll have solutions for them. So just stay tuned and subscribe to this station, or to this channel, if you like more videos on math and other science stuff.